Good, guys. We're back at it again with another video. As you see by the title, we got, like I said, we got Cade Cunningham. Now, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna stop saying like, okay, we're gonna be back at it Friday or we're gonna be back at it Sunday or whatever, because I literally, like today was supposed to be a day I'm not supposed to be posting stuff like that, but I'll wake up in the morning. I'm like, I'll be kind of bored because I'm not posting, I'm not doing anything. So I'm like, all right, let me just go watch some film or somebody. Let me just watch, let me just prep for, the next day. Let me just prep. The next thing you know, I got a video done. So I'm not gonna say that. Just know Monday, Wednesday, Friday are locks that you're gonna have videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Every other day is probably just gonna be if I wake up and all of a sudden I make a video, which is probably gonna be the case most of the time. But getting back on this one, this is Cade Cunningham. So I'm gonna be real. Cade, like I never really was like following Cade like that. Like for me, I almost feel like for me personally, I feel like he almost came out of nowhere because I was never tracking him. Like I know some of the other players that were in his class, but I was never tracking him. I never really sat down and watched him play. I just seen the hype and I seen he was number one coming out of high school. But I think, COVID kind of hurt that a little bit because I didn't get to see him, in McDonald's and things like that because COVID kind of shut it down. So the next time he popped up was in college. And then at that time, last year, I'm playing at Graham. And I think a lot of our games were at the same time. So I never really got to watch him. But I'm watching him now. And he nice. 6'8", 6'8", 220, bro, average 20, 26 and 4 on 43% shooting and 40 from 3 on volume. With volume, like, so those are some serious numbers. This video probably gonna be a little longer because we're going down every single part of his game in preparation for the draft that is tonight. Let's go.
Even at 6'8", coming off of ball screens, Cade has the ability to create space in an instant and pull up and knock down the three. Apart from the shot on this possession, I want everyone to notice the time and the score. With under 30 seconds left, Cade comes off this ball screen, and not only does he have the ability to pull up from three, he can pull up from mid-range at will as well. Here in another late game ball screen situation, Cade pauses for a second to cause the big to run back to the paint, and as he does so, drives directly down his back and has the strength and athleticism to finish through the 6'9" defender with ease. As Cade drives downhill off of ball screens, if he doesn't have a definitive quickness advantage, he understands how to use his 6'8" size to finish over defenders. Whether coming off of pick and rolls or in ISO situations, Cade has no problem creating space and pulling up from three at any point. Keep in mind that on this possession, Cade is being guarded by 6'10", 255-pound all-conference big Derek Cover and has no problem bumping him off and finishing over the top. He legitimately can score on all three levels and has no problem getting his shot off at any point in the shot clock. There aren't many people in the world who can make this play that Cade made at his height, at 6'8", spinning on the dime and then finishing with the offhand over the big. In transition, Cade plays at his own pace and doesn't get sped up, which allows him to casually come down the floor, stop on the dime, and pull up whenever he wants. In transition, he also has pretty good awareness of exactly where he needs to be on the court so he can get open threes. Because he does play at his own pace and knows exactly where his spots are, Cade has no problem in transition breaking down a defender, getting exactly where he wants to go, and shooting this hook. Great initial rebound off this miss, and as he pushes the ball down the court, he immediately recognizes that no defender is going to come stop him, so he just shoots the floater. Even though Cade's passes aren't the flashiest, he has a great understanding of the game and great accuracy, as you see here with this pinpoint pass through 4 defenders to the big man. Because Cade is so potent offensively and commands so much attention on the court, he's also developed the ability to get his teammates open, and he gets his passes there effortlessly. This play is similar to what Cade's going to see in the NBA, just coming off a ball screen and tossing it up at the rim. Cade's basketball IQ also allows him to pick apart defenses, so as he comes off this ball screen, he recognizes that the defender on the block is in no man's land, so a quick glance to the left will get his big man open, and he throws the perfect pass. Cade is an extremely active defender off the ball, and as you can see, once he gets that fast break, it's showtime. Even though Cade's foot speed isn't the quickest and he can sometimes struggle to stay in front of offensive players, if you give him any opportunity to steal the ball from you, it's gone. There are times within games that Cade can show low defensive effort, as you can see here, slowly going under the ball screen and then not getting back to his man with any urgency. A lot of the defensive plays Cade makes are simply from him knowing where to be on the court. There are situations that when Cade is doubled, he can get rushed and sometimes be forced into turnovers. Decision-making in transition is what I say is Cade's biggest weakness up to this point. As you can see here, he throws the turnover, and on this possession, he comes down and ends up taking a really contested three that ends up getting blocked. Even though Cade usually plays with pace in transition, he can sometimes get out of control and become charge bait. As I said before, Cade's foot speed isn't the quickest, and guarding Maceo Teague on this possession is a good example of what an NBA-level guard is going to look like.
So Cade, before we even break down, pick and roll, ISO, passing, his vision, defense, everything like that, I gotta say this, this kid is probably the most complete prospect I've seen come into the league in a minute. And I'm just talking about even when we go down the list of all this stuff, it might be a little faster because this dude literally does almost everything. Almost everything. Again, when we get to areas of improvement, I'll talk about any weaknesses I saw, but the ones I saw weren't blaring. They weren't crazy. They weren't really anything that wouldn't make me want to take him number one. You know what I'm saying? So let's start with pick and rolls. So he can get at 6'8", he can get his shot off whenever he wants against whoever he wants. So pick and roll, he comes off, they don't switch. So it's a guard on him, easy. I can just pull up over the top, or like you saw, I'll get to the mid-range, step back. He can't even get anywhere close to me because I'm 6'8", I'm shooting it. Or the big, they want to switch. Okay, between the legs, we're coming back, step back, three in his face because he's 6'8". It really doesn't matter how tall you are. Or the big does switch. Let me bring him out. And then I'm gonna go right by him, and I got hooks on with both hands, and I got patience. I can finish over the top of him. Like this dude, he can literally do almost whatever, whatever he feels like on the court. Same thing with ISOs. It doesn't matter who's on him. When he wants to get a shot off, he can get a shot off. It's not no one's forcing him a certain way. No one's making him do anything. No one's speeding him up. This dude plays at the same pace the entire game. No one's really affecting him at all. He's just really just doing what he wants to do on the court. Vision. So he isn't the flashiest passer. He isn't the flashiest passer. But the thing about that is he's extremely smart, an extremely smart basketball player, bro. It's not going to be flashy, and I think that's part of the reason why I didn't really know a lot about him, when he was coming out of high school, is because with everybody else, especially the top players, they got 100,000 mixtapes out, and they all in there. Of course, I seen Cade East Bay in the game. I think that's probably the only thing I've seen him do, anything type crazy, because most of the time everybody else is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And especially if he's on Montverde, he can't do that because he's playing with so many 5-stars. He's been playing in a team's type of environment. So when he gets to Oklahoma State and he's the best player and they let him rock, this is what he does when you put him on a team where he doesn't have to. He is the system. He's not a part of the system. Basically, what I'm saying. So he can pass. He makes great passes, excellent passes. He has the vision, he knows where everyone is going to be on the court. And that also helps lead me into the defensive part of it, right? Because he knows where all his teammates are going to be, he also knows where the defenders are, where they want to go. So it also goes the same way defensively. He gets so many, I've never seen a player get so many, I'm going to just say it like this, it sounds bad. I've never seen a player get so many lazy steals in my life. And it's not lazy. It's just that this dude is always in the right spot. It's not I don't mean it lazy. I just mean he's literally just the ball fall. I've never seen the ball fall into somebody's hands more than with Cade. It's either they fall into his hands or he knows where you're going to go with the ball before you know where you're going to go with the ball. So he literally would just stand there And the second you want to pass it, he literally just grabs it. Like he knows where the ball is going to be. He knows where everybody is on the court. Transition. Now, this in terms of like weaknesses, areas of improvement, this is the place where I see where he can get better at, right? Because he does play at the same pace, even in transition. He doesn't really do a lot of like you saw with Sharif. If he sees like he has any type of advantage, he's gonna push. It don't matter if it's 1-on-5, he's gonna push. Cade doesn't really push like that. He's more methodical. He's gonna come down, he's gonna see what he wants, which allows him to, which is why he can come down like this, and all of a sudden it's gone in your face because he's not sped up. He's at his own pace, so it's way easier to just pull up when you're going a little bit slower. But the same thing with that is he does tend to, like, in transition, there isn't really a sense of urgency, right? So he can get a bit sloppy with it. So there can be, like I showed you, that was only one, but he had a pretty good amount of, turnovers in transition in terms of just throw ahead passes that might fly out of bounds, or they were too high, too low, things like that. Or he'll have turnovers in the sense that because at Oklahoma State he is pretty much the offense, he'll tend to force. Now that might not be his own, that might not be how he wants to play, but it's how he had to this past year. So I don't really want to knock him too much on his shot selection, because some of the times, like I'm saying, he was getting a lot of charges, or some of his shots, again, he can get it off because he's 6'8", but the defender's hand is like right here. So part of it is because his teammates weren't as good as he was. Part of it is he is just kind of taking bad shots some of the times. And then finally, on areas of improvement defensively, like I said, he does get a lot of steals off the ball, things like that. And he does get them on the ball too because he has fast hands. But in terms of like foot speed, movement on the perimeter, I could tell just watching him, like, you really got to hoop to watch. I call it fake hustle. Like, you really got to hoop to know what that is. Like, dudes, like, because he carries such a load offensively. You could tell in college, at least this year, defensively, he wasn't really that in terms of on the ball. He wasn't really that, into it. It'd be a lot of, if you hoop, you're doing a lot of like the little floating, or like I showed you, the little half closeout, and then kind of, let me act like I really want to get back on defense, but I really don't type stuff. But when he's locked in, like, I can see like he is going to be a pretty good defender. But again, because of his foot speed, I showed you with Macy Teague, who's an all-conference player at Baylor. And he's probably, I don't know if he's going to get drafted, but he'll definitely be in the league at some point. That's what an NBA guard's quickness is going to look like. So he's definitely going to have to work on, lateral quickness, things like that. But all in all, like I said, like, this is, I ain't going, because they got people calling him like the second coming. Like, I done seen him get compared to Bron. I seen Rashad Phillips, Yoda, called him Grant Hill. I like that. I like the Grant Hill comp. But I think he box office, and he confident with it too. Like, confident. First game of the season, I watched his first game. He came out the gate. No freshman really does this. He came out the gate and taking the first couple shots in the game. He knocked them down too. So there aren't many freshmen. I don't remember the last freshman I seen in their first collegiate game will take the first shot of the game and knock it down, and just like it's nothing. Like, and just next play, make another play. Like, it's nothing. Like, you don't see a lot of freshmen do that because we have nerves and things like that. But like I said, I'm real excited to see what he's going to do in Detroit, because I do think he is going to go number one, and he does deserve it. Like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications. We are going to be back at it tomorrow with another video because it is Friday, but we're going to see for the rest of the week. I'm thinking we might go, I got some big news dropping. I'm going to come with some big news pretty soon. So I'm thinking for this next week, we might go every day. I'm not going to lie. We might go every day. We're going to see, though. Appreciate you guys watching.